Every time they tell me stop, I use every comment, hate that makes my feel. Gather up my energy and boom, I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with, giving my blood, so I am relentless.
Well, this is a Keep Hammering Collective with the legend, Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
I don't know if I'm a legend just yet.
No?
I don't know. I don't know what it takes. What's the meter of becoming a legend?
Well, I put up a Q&A for you, and one of the responses was, no question, just thank you for the memories. You're a fucking legend. So that was from the public.
Okay.
The public thinks you're a legend.
All right. I appreciate it. I feel like just a regular guy. It's weird when I go to the gas station or to the mall in Vegas and people are like, oh my God, can I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah, why wouldn't I, you know? And my wife always asks, you ever get tired of that? I said, no, because one day they won't ask anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Right? One day they won't ask, so I'm relishing it while I can.
Well, I mean, you are unmistakable. You were the face of the UFC and just anytime, anywhere, that mindset for years.
Right.
And like the guy who said, thank you for the memories, that's how I feel too. Because, dude, anytime it was going to be a cowboy fight, it was going to be something to watch.
That was my mantra when everyone ever would ask, what's your plan? I said, man, I don't care. I just want to know when they announce a cowboy fight, I want somebody like, oh, Cowboys, we gotta go to a bar, we gotta go to anywhere we can, we gotta sit down and watch it because my man's going, he's throwing down. Yeah. Win or lose, he's bringing it. And that was kind of what I always wanted my legacy to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, how did that mindset start? I mean, did you always have it, or how were you growing up?
I don't have a rough growing up. Mm-hmm. I'm from a wealthy family. My grandparents are doctors, and I just, I don't know. I wish I had I was born in the streets and I had to, I don't have that. I just fell in love with the sport and would just fight as a kid all the time. And my buddy asked me to try kickboxing. I fell in love with it, and MMA got big, and I kind of jumped on that train and started fighting and fell in love with it. But the work ethic is what I think is the most important, and that was taught to me by my grandparents because they owned their own practice, and she would raise all those grandkids, and she'd work 80 hours a week. I mean, talk about a hard-working lady, and she would just teach me all the ways of life growing up and what to do and what not to do. And I have this way of life of things don't bother me ever. People are always concerned, if I already let you use my truck, and you're not worried he's gonna hurt it, or I'd let you use my snowmobile, and she would always put it in kind of way of thinking for me, if you came back and let's say you totaled it and destroyed it, and my first question would be, are you okay? Are you all right?
Yeah.
I can replace the snowmobile.
Right.
And then she would tell me okay, so he did get hurt, but that's way worse than anything that ever happened with a machine or something we replace, or when she talks about people having it, saying they have it bad, man, there's kids that are dying of cancer that are 2 years old, and you have a runny nose, or you're not feeling good today. And she'd always just kind of check me and put me in perspective of what really bad is. And that's kind of how I always base my life. And same thing with working hard. She would always tell me when I would do something, if you say you're going to do it, you do it.
Right.
Don't half-ass it. Right. You do it. So if you say you're going to be there, Cowboy, you be. And Cowboy's been my name. It's so weird to hear people call me Donald. Even my kids, Cowboy. And what's really cool, I'll get sidetracked, but UFC made action figures of me.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see my kids having daddy beat up all the other superheroes,
I guess.
Cool. But worth it. Whenever we start a project, we do it and we work hard, and my friends can't ever keep up with me. They hang out with me in shifts because they can't keep the pace that I play at and have fun at and work at. So it's just, I don't know, it's just worth ethic, I think.
Well, I mean, I saw it firsthand because you came in here. I think you were kind of playing possum a little bit on the run, and you didn't want to do this, or you didn't say you didn't want to, but it was we talked about Chandler doing a marathon, and you're I don't think I'll do that. So I didn't know how the run was going to go, and then you talk about work ethic. You killed it. I mean, these people were having a hard time keeping up with you, and you were in your slippers.
Yes, I didn't bring running shoes, so I was in slippers, and not making excuses, but my groin I had to go have surgery on my groin because I pulled it off the bone, and snowmobiling, playing.
Yeah.
And so it hurts. It's pretty sore today. I ate a handful of ibuprofen. I don't know how much that is, but whatever a handful equals, that's about the correct amount.
Well, I mean, I would hate to see you at 100% if that was a chink in your armor with a torn up groin and you just crushed that hill. So I got a glimpse into what makes Cowboy right there.
Like I said, I wish I was trained, because you were talking on the drive over there, you have a personal best. Now, 10 years ago, you would have tricked me with that. You would have had me. You would have
tried to beat it?
I would have tried to at least get to it for sure. Yeah, to give it hell.
Yeah.
But today, man, I'm like, I said I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. And that's what I was telling Dale on the way up. We were talking, and which was cool that Dale stayed back another day to play. But when we were walking up, like, you're not tired? And I was like, well, I told him I'm going to do it, and that's goddamn, I got to do it. You know? Because at the end of the day, it's funny to me to hear all these people on social media, these great quotes that they Google and they put up on their thing. And it's really easy for someone to sit at home and put up a message, right?
Yeah.
But to actually, like, do it is a totally different song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny to me to see these guys that promote just greatness and how they want to be that person and fake their life until they're that person, right? And sometimes if you fake it long enough, you find it.
Yeah,
so I'm not totally mad at them. Like, keep preaching it, preach it. You keep preaching it long enough, you might become a piece of that guy you're trying to be. But it's a lot of hard work. You know, I mean, like you said, you run 250 miles. Like you couldn't fucking make me do that. You know what I mean? There's no way.
Yeah, it's just a mindset. But I get what you're saying about guys who they want to shortcut. They want to get to like, hey, look at me. I'm this leader. I'm setting the tone. And it's like, well, no, your work isn't showing that. And there is a lot of online experts out there. Total
experts. They want to post the quote and be this and take a picture in the gym. But are you really the guy in the gym? Are you really the guy when it's freezing cold outside, you don't care, you put your beanie on anyways in the blizzard and you still go run and you still get up before you have to be to work and you got to take care of your kids and pack the lunch for your boys, drop off at the school bus? Did you get up at 3 a.m., go do all that before you got them ready, before you go and work your 12-hour day and then go home and do everything that needs to be done before you go to bed? Are you that guy? Or are you the guy that doesn't really work? You're living in your mom's basement. All the thing you have to do today is go to the gym, so you make it look easy on social media. Like, is that you or are you the real guy?
Right.
Are you the motherfucker? Right?
Most people aren't.
No.
You know that.
Yeah, for sure. And in this world we're living in, I get in so much trouble talking about the world we're in today, about it's okay to not be that guy, right? It's okay to be the not alpha. The world is, it's just
to be beta, to be weak and vulnerable.
And have an opinion and be the gatherer. Like, no, this world needs fucking hunters. They need the people, the alpha males that are running the country. And that might be a dying mindset. I don't know. And like I said, I get in tons of trouble all the time speaking up about it, especially with all the craziness that's going on. And I don't even know how much of that we can talk about on this podcast, because I don't want to get you fucking canceled on your 6th show. So
no, we can talk about anything. Like what are you referring to?
Well, for one, I'm talking to the like the gender identification stuff that's happening, and the kids that. Now, let's rewind time to 20 years ago when you and I were in school. Could you imagine fucking telling your teacher you're a cat?
Yeah, right.
Or barking when they ask
you identify as whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't, like, hey, Donald, what's the answer to question 3? And I just start barking. They'd be like, you'd see some mental health, dude, that's where you'd go. I don't know if this is actually the class for you. We're actually going to move you into this class, and we're going to see some specialists.
And now you have to accept it. You have to be like, well, okay, let's see what's going on.
Yeah, it's totally crazy and bizarre to me. But that's just, like I said, we give a little bit and then a little bit more, and that's how like the whole COVID thing happened, right? It all started with, we just needed 2 weeks, you guys.
We need everyone the curve.
We need everyone to buckle down. We need this much.
Yeah.
And then after we gave this much, they're like, well, we just need this much more. We didn't ask for 2 years to shut down and close your life. shut down businesses, collapse the economy. We didn't ask for that.
Right.
We asked for this much, and then we asked for that much more. So that's how it happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now we're here 2 years, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. How did we get here?
How did we get here?
It was just a small little infringements.
And that's exactly what I feel is happening with the whole shit that's going on right now. Like, it's
gender identification.
Call me this, call me that, call me this. And I don't care what you want to be called. That makes no difference to me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If you want to sit down here like, well, Cowboy, this is the Mrs. Miss keep hammering. Okay, cool.
But why are we celebrating it? And why are we making it seem like it's just this big normal thing?
Right.
Yeah, when it's a tiny sliver of people and they're getting all the attention. The guys who are out going to work every day are kind of getting shit on.
So for sure. I mean, those are the guys that don't matter anymore because the world is just this much. It's just okay. It's not okay to be that guy anymore. It's okay to be this guy. Right.
That, that's what I loved about, that was why it's so hard for me to leave the job that I did, is because I worked with those guys, the guys who are putting the pipe in the ground or building the roads. And
those are my people. You mean the blue collar fucking hardworking motherfuckers? Yeah.
Right. Those guys, that's who I respect.
Yeah.
They're at work right now, every day, showing up, building this infrastructure so people can have water and have power.
Aside from the military, right? I'm a strong supporter of the military because those are why you and I get to sit here and why you get to go shoot your bow every day and why I got to go live my retired fuck off life every day is because those people put their lives on the line so we can live free and do what we want, right? The second in line to me is the middle class working people. The guy who builds your house. The guy when your hot water isn't working, your wife's calling you like, why isn't the hot water working? You're like, I don't know. What do you mean the hot water's not working? Let's call that guy. They drive over at 3 a.m. in the snowstorm and get your water working again. When they get the infrastructure of the whole, now like California with all this electric cars and stuff, they need to figure out how we can build an infrastructure to support all the electrical grids to support everything.
Right.
So those people are the people that, and that's the hardworking backbone of America.
And then when you couple, like you mentioned it, but the guys who train on top of doing that work, that's who, it's hardly anybody. But when you see them, you're like, okay, that guy's got something. Yeah. He's got a little bit of dog in him. He's got more than everybody else. And when I see people out running in the rain and the dark and or in the mornings, like you say, I'm like, okay, that gives me hope. Those are the people.
Yeah, when it's 4 a.m. and you're also on and you don't even need to say something. You just look at them like, yep.
I know.
I know.
Love it.
I
love it.
I see you.
Was your grandma the one that would go to your fights? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay, and she was a doctor?
She's technically a nurse, but she worked under my grandfather, who is a doctor.
Okay.
And basically did everything. He would just come in and sign off on it. Not taking anything away from my grandma, very brilliant man, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, she ran the office for sure.
And that was in Colorado?
Yep, in Colorado.
Is that so? You grew up. You told me you grew up sometimes here in Oregon.
Yep. So the middle part of my life, I moved to Oregon.
Okay.
And then right about high school, I moved back with my grandparents, which lived in Denver. And so I moved up to Denver. I grew up in Colorado Springs. Through middle school, we moved out here to Oregon, to Napa, Oregon, with my mom's parents. And lived here for a few years. Then I moved in with my grandparents.
Okay. And where was your mom and dad then?
Just doing their life.
Yeah. You decided to live with your grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it worked out. It sounds
now,
like.
You got to understand, I was the worst person. I look back now because I have 3 boys, and I get it. Like, there's only so much you can take before you just lose it. And I was, they say I can only have sex on my back because I can only fuck up. So that's a true statement, right? Like, if there's an opportunity to mess up, I was doing it.
Right.
And I was always looking for trouble. Like, trouble's not hard to find if you're looking for it.
Right.
Like on Saturday night, if we're going out looking to get in trouble with some guys or looking for mischief, it's really easy to find. It's actually harder to walk the narrow.
Right.
Yeah. So I would always just, there it is. Let's see what that's about.
Yeah.
And
let's make some trouble.
Yeah. I mean, my grandma.
So you were hard to raise. As you're saying, for your mom and dad, you were a challenge.
Extreme challenge. Yeah. And for my when I moved in with my grandparents, their discipline to me was really strange. So I would do something, go to jail. I call my grandma at 3 a.m. She'd come bail me out. And then I would think I was getting ready for a lecture or something in the morning, and I'd have to ask her, like, you're not going to ask me what I did? And she goes, no, you know what you did? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, then what's the matter? It was wrong? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, so then what are we talking about? And I'm like, fuck, all right. And it like made me feel worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wanted to get your ass chewed.
Something. Yeah, like, god damn. So just the way she
didn't want to let her down, it sounds like, mostly.
And I did all the time. And that was the most heartbreaking part. Like always, constantly, like, fuck, again? You know? And which is cool to have a platform now and be able to talk and voice my opinion, because when I was young, she'd always say, Cowboy, if you could only use your powers for good instead of evil, you could really do something.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
She
and I was
was
like,
right.
what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? She said, because I'd always have a good way of people around me talking everybody into doing the wrong stuff. Like, oh, we should go do this.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds like a terrible idea. We should all do that. Right?
Yeah.
And they would.
Yeah.
So now I get it now. Like, oh, fuck, okay, you were setting me up for life.
Yeah. What? So why do you think that you were the troublemaker? What was it? I mean, do you think? I mean, if you had to give advice to somebody that age, is it trying to get accepted by like what you thought were cool kids, or be the biggest badass, or what was it?
Yeah, I wish I had an answer for that, because I don't know. But what's really cool is every year I put on a kids camp to give back to. So I bring every year the ages change, but last year we had 14 to 16, which is really that trouble.
Yeah, that's a tough age.
The age where you really it's time to start figuring out who you want to be.
Right.
And it's really interesting, really cool to see these kids get to that. We do 8 days at the ranch, and we teach them, man, so many life skills and how to shoot, how to just training and fun, and a lot of every night we sit around a campfire and all the counselors talk to them about life choices and answer questions. It's just cool to see them mold and grow from the kids they show up to when they leave. And then we give them all our phone numbers. I talk to tons of the kids still, you know, like I took first at the state wrestling championship, you know, I got all A's, and it's that's cool. You know,
that's gotta feel good.
Yeah. It's like life-changing, man. It's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, and you have that life experience. You can say, hey, I was just like you.
Right.
I was a fuck up. And look what can happen if you get focused, because you're an example of that.
Yeah. I was that kid. And, you know, when you're in school and you're learning all the different social studies and math, and you're like, I'll never use this until you need it. And you're like, God, why didn't I pay attention?
Still not algebra, probably.
Yeah,
we don't.
needed that.
I don't even know why we do algebra, but yeah, I get the other stuff. Balancing a checkbook. Yeah, you need to know how to do that.
Dude, there's so many life skills that they should start really like. Now I get it. Like, oh, that's why they showed us that in school. Like, I understand.
Yeah, I don't even, you know, I had this guy from the UK here recently, and I wasn't, to your point about not paying attention and what matters in school, I was like not really sure how London and England and the UK, it's like, what is it? How does all this work?
Right.
Which is which? Which is a city, country, state? I don't even, so I'm like, God, I feel stupid.
Right.
But if it doesn't have to do something with running or bow hunting, I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the world. I've fought on every continent except for Antarctica, so 6 of the 7.
Wow.
I've been to, probably 150 something countries. When I started kickboxing and traveled the world, I would always tell them to just extend my ticket wherever I'd fight.
Yeah.
And I'd say, all right, I'd look around whatever countries around there, and I'd be like, fly me out of Prague.
Yeah.
And then I would just go visit and hang out and backpack all the countries surrounding the area I was in, and then I'd fly home.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
What stands out about any of those experiences? Like,
You'd have to rephrase the question. What am I doing? People ask me all the time, where's your favorite country? Where's your favorite place to visit? Well, you got to ask me, am I taking a group of rowdy friends and are we going to party and have a good time? Am I taking my wife and kids and are we going to tourist attraction to see some cool sights? Like, so you got to phrase the question.
When you were doing that by yourself, were you by yourself?
No,
when
I
you
bring
did
my best buddy, Mike Baldwin. Yeah, who used to train and fight with me. We'd go together.
What was the best time you guys had?
Probably Ibiza, Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just the ultimate party.
Really?
Yeah.
Beautiful women, I presume.
Yeah, everything you could imagine is in that country. It's a good time. It throws down.
And so you went there to fight? Or were you near there to fight?
Near there to fight.
Okay.
Yep. Near there to fight. And yeah, wild and crazy.
When was your first professional? How old were you when your first?
I was 20 years old. I wasn't quite 21 yet because I had a fake ID and it was in New York City.
Oh.
Yeah. So I remember we were using a fake ID to go out and drink and party. And we went out. So we got our first fight in New York. 2 weeks after my very first time ever training, they offered me a fight. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll fight. So we go to New York. Well, for me, I'm doing this because I love it. It's fun, but I also want to go to New York and party.
Yeah.
So I remember the whole next day was weigh-in day. I was like dying trying to rehydrate because of how hungover and fucking drunk we were.
God.
So I spent most of the day trying to figure my life out to get ready for the fight the next day. Yeah. It was
How'd the fight go?
good. I knocked the kid out first round, and which just fed into the going out and partying mode even more. You know,
it's like you got rewarded.
Yeah,
you weren't disciplined and still won. It's like, how great's this?
Yeah, it was wild.
And then, so you did that. When did you get serious about training?
So I started kickboxing, then I started getting big fights over in Japan, and I went 28-0 as a professional kickboxer, and I just started fighting like the big name guys. And even then, I would take it pretty serious, but I owned my own roofing company, so I was a full-time
In Colorado?
in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked for a home builder called Lennar Homes, and I would build all their roofs. So we'd have to like crank 4, 5, 6 houses out a day, like rocking and rolling.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard work too.
Oh my God. If you never roofed, you have no idea what hard work is. Yeah. So we'd start like 4 or 5 in the morning, work till 2, get off, go to the gym, train till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, go home, do it again the next day.
It's a grind.
Yeah, it was a wild grind. And so I would have to just take off work and go fight, come back. And the money to go kickbox was, $700, $800
Right.
enough. I would make 5 times that roofing, but I just loved it. And I got the opportunity to travel. And everyone's always so crazy, like, man, I can't believe how many fights you take on short notice. Like, man, they'd call me on a Wednesday saying, I need you to fight in Japan on Saturday.
And you do it.
And I do it. Like, Japan this weekend, let's go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we just go. I used to walk around right at the fight weight. Like I was kind of a tiny kid back then. So 155. It was 154 was the weight class, and for kickboxing, and I was maybe a pound or 2, depends how much crap I ate on the plane.
Right.
Yeah, but other than that, it was easy breezy.
Did you ever take one of those fights, get over there, and be like, "This was a mistake"?
No,
I mean, if you were 28-0, then I guess not.
I didn't care. There was never. Yeah, I didn't really the fear of performing well didn't kick in until I started made it a full-time job for the UFC. But like kickboxing, I just go throw down. I had a totally different mindset.
Okay,
you go fight and have fun and murder. Yeah.
How come? Why do you think the mindset was different?
Don't know. I don't know what changed. I don't know. I young, dumb, and just wanted to go play. But I've a couple of times I'd go to New York to Tokyo, get off the plane, straight to the weigh-in, right? And we go to weigh in, and they'd be like, "Oh, your opponent already weighed in." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
So they just had me do some little weigh in over in the corner, and I'm like, "Where's my guy?" And they're like, "Oh, he's good."
Were they bigger usually?
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It was just they brought me in to lose. That's what it was. I was there. I was flown in to get my ass whipped.
Right. And but you kept winning.
Kept winning. Yeah, kept winning.
Oh, and that so then that led into more training. That was just kickboxing.
Correct. And then back then it used to be called NHB, No Holds Bar, right before I
used to watch
MMA.
Tough Man on TV.
Yeah.
That was I think Phil Baroni.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I used to watch him
Can't believe
fight.
he's in jail for murder right now.
I know.
Nuts. Anyway, but yeah, so it was NHB, and I started fighting on smaller circuits, and the company that I used to fight for was called Ring of Fire out of Colorado Springs in Denver. And they wanted me to do MMA. Well, this company, kind of a one-hit wonder company, came in trying to be the next big thing. offered me $5,000 to do my first MMA fight. Well, the Ring of Fire was like, oh no, we want you to do our first. So I fought the weekend before, and then again, back-to-back weekends for my very first two MMA fights.
Yeah.
But $5,000 back then was huge money.
Yeah.
Especially when I just made $700 to go fight for a U.S. title in Thailand or wherever, whatever. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
So
how'd those first two fights go back to back?
I think they were triangle and triangle. I think two triangles.
Is that your favorite submission?
It was back then because I have a pretty good jiu-jitsu ground game, right? So when I decided I wanted to be this my life, my grandpa bought me a house in Vail, Colorado. So Vail's about 8,200 feet.
Yeah, elevation, yeah.
He said, I want you to go up there and train. I'm going to find a black belt, and you're going to learn this. Because I went from kickboxing, and then 2 months later, I now have 2 MMA fights and don't have any wrestling or jiu-jitsu skills. So my grandpa paid a black belt to live up there with me. And we trained 3 times a day. And in between training, we would go snowboard. So we'd train, snowboard, train, snowboard, train.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
You're probably in great shape.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I would just literally train only jiu-jitsu, worst case scenarios, bad positions, what to do off, right? And just ended up doing that for probably a year and a half. Yeah. And he believed in me, It was cool.
Who was that?
My grandfather.
Oh, your grandfather.
Yeah.
Who was the black belt?
Oh, his name was Carlos Cavaja. He was, taught me a lot. It was cool.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
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 And then
I lost contact with him over the years, actually, which is kind of sad on my end. I probably should.
I wonder if he's still doing it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Those guys don't really. And
That's
this
their
again,
life.
remember, this was back when, like right now, for you to recommend someone to a jiu-jitsu gym, there's a million of them here, probably right here.
Right.
There's probably 3 that we could go to today.
Yeah. There's a 10th planet here somewhere.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Then, no, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu was just a thing coming, right? So Carlos happened to be in the area working on snowboarding right. It just all worked out. We're lucky. Yeah. And it all just worked out. And, it was cool. It was fun.
And then
good journey.
Where'd you go to from there?
I went into Denver. Now the problem with Denver was I was a loose cannon, so no one would put their name on me. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Cowboy, you can come in here and spar.
Yeah.
But you don't represent our gym. You're always in jail. You're always in trouble. Like you're not the image that we want to portray for our. So I was never really accepted. And
what was that like? I mean,
I
that
didn't
pissed
care.
you off?
No,
Oh, you
I
didn't really
give a shit. Like whatever,
matter.
fuck you, everybody. Yeah, let's go. I'm here to fight. I don't care if I represent your gym. I just want to train. So I'd go in there. Yeah, go in there and spar and play and train. Leonard Garcia, one of my dearest friends, got a fight with Roger Huerta, and in the UFC, and he was training under Dwayne Ludwig in Colorado. So I'd always see Leonard. We were buddies, right?
Yeah.
He said, Cowboy, going down to Greg Jackson's down in Albuquerque. Come with me. And I was like, all right, fuck, I'll go with you. So we loaded up the car. We drove down there. And I was supposed to do a week, and I never came home.
Really?
Never came home.
So they accepted you. What was it? Greg specifically?
Greg Jackson, the first.
He believed in you.
And so when I went down there, GSP, Keith Jardine, Nate Marquardt, Rashad Evans, Joe Daddy Stevenson, Clay Guida, like, dude, the name of
some
like
killers.
Killers were there.
Yeah,
And when I walked in, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I remember after about the second or third day I was there, Greg pulled me aside, like, hey man, I would like for you to be my 55er. And I was like, what? Out of all these guys? And it felt cool.
I bet.
It felt good. So I literally, like I said, I called my grandma and I said, sell my house. And she would slowly start coming down, just truckload by truckload. And bringing me my shit.
Did you take it more serious then after that? Like,
oh yeah, life changed big time.
Yeah.
When it was time to,
did Greg demand it as part of being in the gym, or you just wanted to? It's
Just
like
wanted
not
to.
not wanting to let him down, kind of like you didn't want to let your grandma down.
Yeah, it was just time to. That's what I wanted to do in life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was just time
to get serious.
By the time I went down to Greg's, I think I was 7-0 or 8-0 in MMA, and it was just time to. I got picked up by the Tap Out guys, and they did the reality show thing on me. Went to the WEC. From the WC over to the UFC, and I remember when we came over, everyone was like, "Oh, those WC guys are gonna get smashed by the UFC boys," and then we did all right, did good. But you talk about working hard and a great work ethic, like I said, from my grandmother. So I lost my driver's license. I'm a habitual offender, which means you fuck up a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had a suspension for
What, speeding and what?
Evading and abetting is what actually.
Okay.
Took it from me the last time. We used to ride motorcycles and think we were fucking hot shots and just stupid shit, right? So I lost. Anyways, those homes I was telling you about were clear out off 120th in Denver, and my grandma lived basically at 26th. So we'd have to go very far.
Yeah.
So she would load her work truck, my work truck up, drive me all the way out there, drop me off, unload the truck with me. Then she would drive to the office and do work all day and then come pick me up. Right. So you talk about the people that do all the stuff they say they're going to do. She's that lady.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
That's awesome.
and I'm like, why do you do this? She's like, because I told you I would, you know?
Right.
And so she would literally drive me to work and then go to work herself and then come back and pick me up. So it's just, that's where I learned to work hard. When it says you're going to do something, fucking do it, you know? And,
that's a great lesson. I mean, without her, who knows what would be going on?
I'd be swallowed up by the system for sure.
Yeah. And then, so down at Greg Jackson's, who did you really connect with there? Did you have a training partner that you linked up with, or did everybody push?
So Jackson's isn't like it is now. It used to be a family. Yeah, like Keith Jardine and I are still really good friends. You know, he's in the movie industry right now. We're both fucking loving it and working together. But yeah, like Keith and Rashad and man, George flew me up to Canada several times to go up there and train and work with them. So it was just a giant family. We'd all go eat together. We'd all go hang out together, and it was
pretty special.
Very special.
I mean, that's kind of like lightning in a bottle too. That doesn't happen very often.
It was just the perfect timing. It was the perfect timing.
Everybody's in a perfect spot for that to work.
Yeah, exactly. It was awesome.
And you probably did you feel invincible then? Did you feel at your best? Because I know I've heard you say you were always nervous before fights.
Oh yeah.
Was that just lately when like the stakes were really high, or was there a time when you were just like, no,
I always felt you always second guess yourself. I mean,
if you worked hard enough or what?
It doesn't matter if you didn't work hard enough, you would question it. If you didn't work hard enough, you already knew.
Yeah.
You already had the answer. But when you did work hard enough, like I'm sure, for instance, you're getting ready for these huge runs you're doing. When you're on the line and you're driving up, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Should I have
got more miles in?
Done one more. That weekend, that Saturday, I didn't go. Should I have went?
Right.
There's so all those things start running through your mind, and especially when you're getting ready for a fight and like UFC fighting is during training camp and everything ready. I bet you were 80% physical, 20% mental. Come fight week, it switches, and you're now all mental, right? Like 90% mental, and the shit your mind comes up with and tells you the days leading up to the fight are insane. Like it's so hard to learn to fight off those negative thoughts. Yeah, you like lay in bed dreaming and thinking about another man. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And
like what they're gonna do,
and not in a romantic way, like the worst way ever.
Right.
Just beating the fuck out of you. Yeah, like nightmare stuff.
Yeah.
And then you start just all these bad income or like outcomes in your mind. You're just everything can go wrong. So it was really more not about ever letting myself down. It's just letting everybody who you met along the way and letting them down. You know, that's where you really start second guessing yourself. And you're like, man, like it's hard to believe in yourself sometimes. Like, It just is.
The mind is
to be that guy that I'm pretending to be. It's hard to be him sometimes.
I understand. Wish it was easier sometimes.
Wish it was easier. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could just go in there like,
yeah.
But no, you're scared and you're timid and you're second guessing, and it's tough.
Yeah. And everybody's, especially on fights, because I've been to so many fights, but you're like reading that body language, and I remember I was when Aldo fought Connor,
right?
And Joe kind of like this famous part where he was like looking at Aldo and he's like, he doesn't look confident, he's like looking down. Everybody's just like hypercritical of body language. And it's like, do you guys think about how people are perceiving you, or is you're so in your head?
Yeah, dude, so in your head.
Yeah.
It is insane. Yeah. Like once the fight is on.
Well, even like didn't you, I think I remember saying you got hit or maybe you saw blood and then you it's almost like, okay, that's out of the way. Then does it get easier?
It just goes in. Now you go into the non-thinking motor skills. Like it's just more the reaction. And you're just like, okay, now we're in it. Now this is what I'm here for, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of get
a little
in the
looser.
zone.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like Joe talks about it all the time, like you get in this flow state, and it's like almost like someone's playing you. You're playing you from a video game in third person, I warp out of my body. Like it's the craziest, most bizarre thing ever.
When do you see that? Is there
when you're rocking and rolling, man?
Yeah, but is there a clip that you've seen where you just put like all? I think I remember one where it seems like it was a couple punches and kicks all together. Is there one that stands out?
Well, the Rick Stroy combo that everyone, like, is a famous combo that I threw for sure in that fight. And the very first time it ever happens is I changed weight class, went to 170, and I went to Canada and I fought Patrick O'Tay. And I felt invincible in that fight.
Really?
I couldn't do wrong. You know what I mean? Every move, working. Every zip, every zag,
Yeah.
And same thing when I fought Jeremy Stevens. Same thing. I felt just in the flow, like nothing. I couldn't mess up. Everything I did was great. And when you're on like that, you're fucking on.
Oh.
But on the flip side of that coin, when you are off,
yeah,
like when I fought Connor, everybody thinks the UFC paid me to take a dive. You couldn't pay me enough money to tarnish my soul.
Right. Yeah. No.
Couldn't do it.
You're not a sellout. There's no way.
There's no amount of money. Now, you could pay me enough money to fuck a man live on TV. That I could do. You know what I mean? That I could, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to take a dive, I couldn't do.
And something like fighting, something that you dedicated your life to.
I couldn't do it. So but the problem with that fight is I couldn't get in the right headspace ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they showed me the exit in the cage, I took it. Yeah. Right. I have to live with that every day.
No, I understand. So I wondered about, because you've seen where a fight's not going well. I'm not talking about you, but specifically, and you know the guy. Maybe somebody's got their back, and then maybe just make that neck available, just because. I need to get out of here.
There's the door.
I need to get out of here.
We talk about that working out and running, like when fatigue will turn anybody into, right? And that's if you're fatigued and you're exhausted, you don't have anything left. But sometimes
you weren't even fatigued yet.
No, but my mind was.
Okay. You just wore out before you got there.
I was just not into it. You ever tried to find second gear and it just keeps grinding? That's where I was. Just couldn't find the gear. Couldn't get going.
Yeah.
And I have no one but to blame but myself. Like, and it sucks every day. I have to live with that. You know? I mean, like, fucking, it sucks. But you live and you learn. And how can I figure out not to be in that headspace anymore?
Yeah.
Right? It's just tough. You gotta work through it and figure it out.
Well, I mean, that's terrible, but also you took so many risks that you overcame to get to that point.
Sure.
To have those high stakes opportunities. I mean, you earned that. Yeah, it didn't go how you wanted it to, but all the wins you had to get there, that had to happen first.
Yeah.
So you gotta focus on that. You can't focus on, man, did I shit the bed on this? No, you fucking had the most wins in the UFC, the most finishes in the UFC. It's like, we can't forget that part of it.
Yeah, right.
I know you want to dwell on that other, but Jesus, you had decades of winning.
Yeah, and it was one hell of a wild career.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And So do you miss it?
I miss the camaraderie. How do you say it?
It's camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
You had me
Good
screwed up.
God. Of all my training partners and everybody on the same mission getting together for one goal.
Right.
I missed that. I missed the joking around and the going to the eat and, like training and joke, slap
the
ass.
lifestyle.
The lifestyle. I miss all my friends.
Yeah.
The competition side, like I do so much things still to compete that I have that
Yeah, you're
scratch.
right, scratching that itch.
Right?
Yeah.
Where I don't need that. I mean, do I think about it sometimes? Sure. Yeah. I do, but
I mean, I can't imagine what that's like coming into an arena and everybody. I mean,
it's the coolest feeling in the world. Nothing can touch it.
And you had wasn't it Kid Rock or what?
Yeah.
What was? Yeah.
But I mean, just when you walk in and everyone's chanting your name, when you have 25,000 people screaming, blowing the roof off an arena, all right? It's so cool.
I can't
Nothing
imagine.
can touch it. Yeah, nothing can touch it.
It's like everybody, even me as a fan, has chills.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so special. It's like the modern day gladiator.
Right.
So you see Maximus coming out there, the crowd, the mob going crazy, and it's must be unreal.
It is, and yeah, it's unreal. Like I said, it's the craziest feeling and the most tension and the hardest feeling to get ready for that. That's what people ask me, like, man, yeah, I'm done. Why? Because like the emotional roller coaster rides that you need to go on, the ups and the downs of preparing for a fight are insane. Like the last couple of weeks are just for me, I'm such a head case. It's insane.
Yeah.
And my wife, like the coolest girl in the whole world, she used to play soccer for the college she went to. I wish I knew what it was, but somewhere in Texas, some badass school.
We'll just say Harvard.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was that. But she would always say, man, if I could tell you anything, and I know you can see the end of the tunnel, like I know you're coming to the end of your career.
Yeah.
If I could go back to my last year of school in college, and I knew that was going to be my last couple of games, I would have laced up a little tighter and I would have tried a little more just because I know. She's like, you have that opportunity right now. Like this is you right now, me 15 years ago, lacing up to go and do something that you know you're not going to be doing forever.
Right.
So fucking go do it. You know, I'm like, you know what, babe, you're right.
Yeah.
So sometimes having those talks with her would really like get you pumped up and ready to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a good support team and everyone cheering you on along the way, but it's also good to have the people there that are not the yes men and the people that are like, no, we need to go run these miles.
Yeah.
We need to lift these weights. We need to work on this. We need to do this. You need those people also.
Who is that for you?
My team, man. Yeah, I had my Canadian coach, Shara. She would always keep me on the straight up, for sure. She would.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was always like, yeah, okay, we're going to go snowmobiling. But you know what? We're also going to get this work in. Like, you're not going to just go do that.
You said you're a head case. Do you have somebody who could look at you and see you were like struggling with something and be able to help that part of it? Not just putting in physical work is kind of easy just to do it. But people work with sports psychologists all the time for that mental. Did you have anybody?
I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
It's very tough because what is today? Is today Thursday?
Yeah.
So you and I talk on Thursday. We fight on Saturday. You might have my mind ready to go
on Thursday.
Maybe even Friday. I wake up was great, feeling good. I go eat. Friday night,
doubt creeps in.
I let the demons in. And I lay there all night, not sleeping, laying awake, second guessing. Now I wake up Saturday morning and now I'm faking it till I make it again, right? Everyone's asking me, you good? Like, yeah, I'm good. I feel great. Faking it, hoping I find it. Sometimes you don't find it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it works sometimes, but sometimes it's just for that day.
Yeah, I imagine. And also, I would think you talked about there's no greater feeling in the world than 25,000 people screaming your name. That probably keeps you maybe chasing that feeling maybe more than people should. Not just you, but I know
After it's done.
Walking away from the fight game is tough.
Yeah, after it's done, like after the fight's over, like, when's the next one? But there's moments that I've been in the back where I'm like, I'm not doing this. Fuck this, I'm going home. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go out. I don't even want to do this. I'm fucking so scared. I just want to go home.
People can't understand that. You're under so much pressure, and you're fighting another man. It's I don't know anything that's harder.
I mean, I remember when I first went to Jackson's and like Diego Sanchez and all those guys were down there, right? And they'd talk about their purse and they'd make $50,000. I'm like, $50,000? Bro, I just made $700 on a kickboxing for a world title.
Yeah.
I'd fight anybody in the world for $50,000.
Right.
Now let's fast forward till my last couple fights. Cowboy, you're making $800,000 and you're fucking second guessing.
Yeah.
If you even want to go out there and fight, the perspective is so weird, right?
Right.
Back then, for
Changes.
$50,000, I'd have fought my grandma.
Right. Yeah. Walked through a brick wall.
No problem.
Yeah.
And now I have almost $1 million on the line, and I'm like, I just want to go home. I don't even want to do this, right?
That's the challenge.
Keep the money. Keep the money. I'm just going to go home. I'm going to sneak out the back door.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think it's just a different, not to be too whatever, but it's different seasons of life, essentially. I mean, when you're young, you feel you got nothing. You feel invincible, probably, right?
Sure.
And then when you get older, you realize maybe I'm not invincible. And that's where that doubt comes in. And then you know all those eyeballs are on you and everybody's got a fucking opinion.
Oh, man, do they?
You know? And I mean, I don't envy that. I envy that feeling of walking out. That must be electric, but I don't envy the battling with the demons.
The demons are tough. Mm-hmm. But the demons are gone now.
Yeah, no, and now you're a movie star.
Movie star, baby. Which is cool. It was funny when I went to retire and Joe's like, "Oh, we're doing this." Like,
Yeah,
man. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad Bruce is here. I'm glad it's time. Mm-hmm. And I said I want to be a movie star. Literally, my phone started ringing. Right
just
away.
from his podcast, saying it on his podcast.
Right, no, live on the arena
at the fight.
At the fight.
Yeah,
yeah, right there, and it just phone started ringing and work started coming. Now I get to pretend to be the guy I always wanted to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got the look, you got everything they need.
So it's so fun. The movies, I love it. It's unbelievable experience.
Westerns.
All of it. I'll do it all.
So you do not just Westerns, you do anything.
I started off doing a bunch of stunts, and then the stunt roles, which is when I first started doing stunts, I was like, hold on, you're going to pay me to go flip this car? I'll do that for free.
Right.
Like, you're crazy.
It was like your early fight days.
Yeah, like all this shit, so same kind of deal. But then I started getting roles where I was a bouncer or I was the bad guy that said 2 lines and then died. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I want to be a good guy.
Yeah.
I want to be the next action hero.
Yeah.
So I started turning those roles down and I was like, dang it, is this going to hurt me? Mm-hmm. But sometimes no has a lot more power than yes.
Yeah. So you turned down some that you didn't think were a good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've turned down a lot of movies lately.
To not get typecast or what?
Yeah, exactly. Typecast. And I just, like I said, I want to be a good guy. You know?
Okay.
And I will play a bad guy. Like I just did a Western a few weeks ago where I was a bad guy. And I don't care. I'm not, but I don't want to be the fighter guy in the corner that says 2 things and then dies. Like I don't, so.
You know what? How about this role? So Tombstone being like Doc Holliday.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, it'd be so cool.
I mean, how good is Tombstone?
A cult classic.
How many times have you watched it?
Oh, every time it comes on. If it was on right now, we'd sit and watch the entire thing. Yeah, it's just one of those movies when it's on.
Yeah.
And probably my favorite movie is Days of Thunder.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why. Just since I was a kid, I've always loved it. And
Tom Cruise, right?
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Yeah, race car driver?
NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Days of Thunder is probably still today one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And I just want to make movies and have fun doing it.
Yeah. Well, so do you have a role now you're working on or where are you at?
Yeah, I actually have 2 movies that are in the docket right now that are coming. Unfortunately, that I can't say anything about. They're so weird.
Yeah.
No pictures, no discussion. Like they want to like it's a wild and crazy different world. Not to mention, a lot of the left wing people are movie people.
Yeah. Right. Definitely.
And so we kind of
Butt heads.
a little
It's gotta
bit
be the
like-
right fit then for sure.
Yeah, like it's just it's just different.
No, Hollywood is
it
yeah.
different?
No, I wouldn't envy that part of dealing in that business either because the psycho left whatever, man, rough. But there's got to be people out there. I mean, I know probably Kevin Costner's probably good to work with.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure there's a ton of great guys. And yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's with anything going on in the world. I'm sure there's the super radicals and then the total opposite. But
Who's helped you or who do you look up to in the movie industry? Like, you had Jacksons and your grandma helped you with fighting and training partners. Who in movies? Are you self-learned or what?
Well, so I got into stunts with a company called Brand X and Jeff Dashnaw, and he has his 3 sons, JJ, Chad, and they took me under their wing and kind of taught me, like, they are the who's in the stunt game, right? And that's who I owe a lot of my next chapter in life to is Papa Dash, just for taking me in, showing me the ways, and really getting me started in this. So probably the coolest guy I've met, famous movie star wise, is Mark Wahlberg.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was from Spencer
Confidential. Yeah. I worked out there with him in Boston for a few months. What a cool guy.
Just a normal guy? Is that
Just
why?
a normal-
Why is he cool?
He just doesn't have that I'm a superstar complex to him.
Okay.
Whenever we'd go somewhere and people would ask for pictures, he'd, come on, of course.
Yeah,
You know?
really.
Yeah. And when we were on set, he's just real friendly to everybody. I've been on some sets where the actors are just, they think they are the man, and
Right.
everyone needs to bow down to him.
Yeah, that would get old.
Real old, real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I always try and tell these people too. Like, look, man, I'm just doing this because I also enjoy it, but I'll beat the fuck out of y'all. Y'all think you can talk to me like that? You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, you got that ace in the hole.
Right? Like it ain't, that shit ain't gonna fly for me. You think you can just punk me down? Nah, we're gonna have. Yeah, I'm getting kicked out of this movie just because I whipped your fucking ass. So
I think that probably keeps people in line a little bit, right? They know that threat's there.
But yeah, so he was just real cool. Hung out, joked, played, ate lunch with everybody. I was just, and I was like, if I'm gonna make it big, that's who I'm gonna model myself after for sure.
Yeah.
Mark, let's go, baby.
I know. I mean, he is one of my favorites also.
Right.
I mean, I love it. And he gets up, trains in the mornings early, the 4 a.m. club, I think is what he calls it.
Yep.
I mean, I invited him on a hunt and never happened or whatever, but it's because he's got the Wahlburger and I think they sell not wild game, but elk. So I was like, hey, you want to know what it means to provide and put meat on the table yourself? Let's do it. And it just didn't happen. But he didn't automatically shoot it down. So that's kind of a win.
Hell yeah. Maybe me and him can go on an elk hunt with you. I'll talk to him. It'd be fun.
Dude, let's do it.
See if we can get that going.
Or if you want to do it, that bear hunt I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because I love bear meat.
Yeah.
I mean, bear meat's good. And plus, I want to see you kill a bear with your bow.
All right.
How does that sound?
Sure.
Yeah. So let's make that happen.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, speaking of that, you can shoot a bow.
I'd like to say I could shoot damn near anything. I'd like to take a lot of pride in I could shoot a lot of stuff. I haven't picking up the bow with you was probably the first time I'd shot a bow in several years.
Well, at the bow rack, you were laying them in there.
Thank you.
I mean, you were shooting great. Wayne, because I've had a number of people through here. Some of them had never even picked up a bow.
Sure.
And then you can tell right away. It's almost like if somebody's played basketball or not and they're dribbling the ball, you can be like, okay, this guy's never done this before.
Right.
And you could tell with you with the bow, it's like, okay, he knows what he's doing.
Sure.
And Wayne was definitely impressed.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I like shooting. And then, of course, we got step up the competition just because it's more fun, right?
Yeah, I know. Last night out there at 102 yards, that was classic. It was so fun.
Night shooting, that was good.
I know. Whooping Dale. So Cowboy has a rivalry with Dale Brisby, and more like a friendly game.
Friendly
It's a game. But Dale thinks they're going to fight.
We are at the kids camp. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to just put like a charity boxing thing around, just something fun for the kids and everything. I'm excited to bring Dale down and have him be a mentor for this year's kids. It's going to be a life-changing experience for him and the kids. So
I think so. And he's like, he wants to be a positive.
Yes.
I mean, just like you, but his attitude is so different than yours.
Sure.
Your attitude is like you come in. I mean, I was just thinking about last night at dinner. He comes in and he's just, sitting there and making sure. You're like, hey, yeah, these are good. And you're just like, just right in there. What's this? It's like your attitude. I love your attitude because it's just unapologetically you.
Right.
It's like, no, Cowboy's here. Fucking clear out.
Right.
And Dale he's just a different person.
Sure.
Obviously everybody's different, but it's so unique in his own way. Nice guy. You're like who you are,
right,
and probably never change. But I love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll never paint myself in a corner for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I love it, man. It's fun. Life is interesting. Now I have 3 boys. Mm-hmm. I say 2 because the one's just brand new, and he's just any of you have children out there, for the first year is the moms.
Yeah, no.
Yes,
actually I didn't take the boys over till we could actually do fun stuff.
Yeah, about 3.5, 4. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then we were like best buddies. I'm sure what you'll be.
Yeah, like I don't even sleep with Mama anymore. Both boys want me to crawl in bed with them every night. So that's what we do. And we have RVs, so sometimes we go out and camp in the yard and just whatever the hell they want to do. My oldest is getting ready for his first dirt off-road race coming
and
March.
He's young.
4 years old.
Jeez.
4 years old. He's getting in a fully built caged race car off-road, and he's gonna go, and he's racing against 6 to 10 year olds as his class.
That is crazy. I mean, he must be. I mean, he's a wild man too, I guess.
Yeah.
Does he have no fear?
He does have fear. Now his brother Riot, zero fear. He's
so Danger, Riot,
and Havoc.
Havoc. I love it, man. Those are perfect Cowboy Cerrone names. I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. He'll be crowned as the youngest racer. It'll be fun.
Wow. What is he driving?
So I'm sponsored by Can-Am. Can-Am doesn't make a car that small, so we built him a 250cc buggy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it hauls ass.
I bet.
Especially for him in it.
I bet.
It's badass.
And he drives it well?
Very well. Like impressively well. You'd be like, how old is that kid? Yeah. It's
and how far is he racing?
So the race is 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it's about 1.5 miles is the course of the track.
As many laps as you can get done.
As many laps as they can get done.
Okay.
Exactly. And he's never raced, so this will be his first race, but he's ridden with people. We have a racetrack out at the ranch, so we have tons of tracks. And he'll
be by himself.
By himself, and I'll be on a radio talking to him.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yeah, like his helmet's wired, right? So he has a wire with a microphone in it, and he pushes a little button on the steering wheel, and he can talk back because at the ranch, I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, Dad." And then just keep.
Are you worried? Are you nervous?
I'm not. Mama is. Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, no way. I think he's gonna do great.
It reminds me a little bit, being 4 years old, is my buddy Roy, who got me started bow hunting, and a lot of people know that story, but he took his son Justin. I mean, we took our boys out bear hunting. That was like one of the first hunts because we could be right there with them.
Sure.
And say, well, yeah, this is a boar, settle down, make a good shot. Anyway, Roy had this set up where he had a shotgun with buckshot in it, and he had a 2x4 between 2 trees, the shotgun on the 2x4 duct taped. And so Justin just had to aim it at the bear. And he shot this bear when he was 4 years old.
Wow.
And he's like, so he shoots this bear, drops the bear in his tracks.
And the bear comes in hot, right? When you guys call him in that close there.
Well, that was to bait.
Okay.
To bait. So it's coming in, but they're wary. And and they're right there, they're 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And so he shoots this bear and drops it. And then Roy was filming him, and Justin looks at the camera. He's like, I can't believe I finally got my first bear. And it's like, finally, you know,
4
years. And it reminds me of your story too. 4 years old out there racing.
They just don't know any different. Yeah, they're just, it's going to be so fun.
I know, but think how, I mean, if he's already doing that at that age, imagine what his life has in store. You know, that's why as parents, we want to give our kids, you know, opportunities that we didn't have.
Sure.
You know, and so he's having an incredible opportunity. He's got a legend for a dad. I mean, how sweet's that?
Yeah, and just try and teach him the ways, you know, that you were taught. I'm excited, super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do gun safety and shoot all the time. It's fun. It's the funnest shit ever having kids, man.
I know. It's I feel bad for people without kids.
Right.
You know, because I couldn't imagine my life.
Well, those are the first people to tell you how to raise your kid.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? That kid can't do it. Like, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You know?
I would raising my kids, my boys, I was always worried that I was pushing them too hard.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard being known to do the right thing or the wrong thing or the right approach or the wrong approach or being the tough love or telling them not to be pussies. It's like, man, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, like, so my son played soccer this season and they don't get trophies or they get just for fun. Like, they're not there to win. Like, oh yeah, we're here to win. Okay, Dad's keeping score every game, and they won every single game.
Yeah,
yeah. And then we got him a trophy, and like this is what we're here for. We're striving to this world we're in where everyone just it's okay to just
life's
lose.
competition.
Yeah, no, it is not okay to lose. We're here to win.
Right.
And I explained that to the coach and the organization. Like, well, maybe this isn't the league that we need to be in. Where's the winning league? Because if you guys are just trying to teach my kid that it's okay to come in here and half-ass and it's okay to just show up and participate, this isn't for us.
No.
Ain't gonna happen.
No, because they get out there in the real world and life, and that's what I tried with my boys is like, hey, life is competition. You want to be anything special, you're gonna have to beat some other guy.
Yeah.
Or a lot of other guys.
At a job. At anything.
Anything that matters.
Anything that matters. Yeah, if you think that you're applying for a position, you have to beat out that person with better skills or you're not going to get the job.
Right. Yeah.
So it dwindles all the way down to the bottom floor. Like, what, this world where it's okay to just get a participation medal? Absolutely not.
No.
No, it's sickening to me. And so good thing I live out in the country and I can raise my kids right. Like, you know, they understand. Like, we have the ranch, we got buffalo.
You sound very toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I'm very,
it sounds scary. I'm actually kind of scared.
Good. Yeah. and just teaching, you know, we have pigs and chickens and goats and turkeys, and my kids understand the difference in those animals. Like, they know we have to put the bulls up, you know, and come springtime, we let them out and breed with they understand between the boys and the girls. Like, that bull doesn't think he's a girl and identify as a cow. Like, it's not how it works.
Right.
So, you know, and I don't know if that's the right way to teach my kids, but that's how I believe it is too. But they are well aware at the age that they are what the difference between that is. And I stand pretty proud to be able to know that they know that, you know, and I don't, like I said, this world's changing and it's very strange right now. So
it is.
I don't know.
Have you said you butcher your own?
Yep.
And do they help with that too? Have they seen animals?
So we just butchered a cow because he died. He actually got smashed by one of our buffalo. And so I called the vet out to make sure that he didn't die of anything.
Like a disease or something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we were all cleared there, and he just died that morning. So somehow he passed that night, and it was freezing cold. But it stinks because when we cut it open, a baby came out, and it was one of our first beefalo that were breeding. So I was like, man. So my son saw the dead.
Was it dead too?
Yeah.
The
dead, which is almost fully developed. It looks like they're about to calf any day now. And so he saw that. But I was like, you know what? Let's go in and see your mom. He's like, no, why? I want to see this. And I was like, yeah, I just don't know if I want you to see me skinning a cow and cutting him up. Like, you know, like
pretty intense.
Very, for a 4-year-old, very intense, you know? So he didn't see that part of it, but he he was there for a little bit of it.
Knows that something died, and a lot of kids.
And we're eating it. And same thing with our pigs and our chickens. Like he knows we eat them,
right?
And he feeds them, and yeah.
A lot of kids and even adults, they shy away from the death part of life. You know what I mean? It's like we're going to have to deal with death. And when you keep masking it, like just going to the store and buying your meat or just shielding the kids from the reality of life, you're not helping anybody, I don't think.
No.
So just that your kids know that, hey, for us to survive, an animal dies, very valuable lesson.
Well, people don't get that. And your audience for sure understand because they are following you, on the hunting aspect of it, so they're pretty already on board. My audience, half of them are not. So I post a picture of shooting something or pig hunting. Oh my God, the comments are on. But then you just got to think, like, when you go down to the grocery store and you're buying that meat, where do you think it just magically dies?
Yeah, I don't know what they think.
Like, no, honey, those animals are at a butcher shop in a line with a bolt gun getting run to the head the worst way ever.
Yeah.
You don't think they just seen the 3 cows next to them die? So they're counting it coming. Like they see it. You know what I mean? It's not.
They're like, I don't like this pattern here. I'm next.
To me, I could talk about that all day. Just the people that have so much to say about killing, and they also understand the overpopulation of animals. Like, they release all these tags so we can, because of the disease, because of the, right? There's so much.
It's not random.
It's not random.
No, there's science to it.
It's, people, like you were saying, when we're at breakfast, all the cuts of meat that you like to take, like you eat the animal. You're not just 1880s shooting the buffalo and leaving them for the hide. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's very valuable meat.
Yeah, people don't understand that. Like, they just want.
We put value on it as a hunter and as you're processing your own kills. And, I mean, we understand that, and that's very important for the kids. I think Rogan has done a good job of explaining to all his listeners that part of it, because most people they're isolated in cities, or they're just going to the store. They don't get it.
But they know they go to the store and they get it. Like, where's it come from? It just magically shows up.
Yeah, I don't know how they interpret that, but
and 5% of the world is feeding the entire world. That's what they also don't understand.
Yeah,
like the more places that are evolving and popping up, the less and less and less agricultural and growing we have available to feed the more and more people that are happening. So it's like you guys just want to bitch and complain, and
that's the other people that I think deserve so much respect, is the farmers and ranchers.
Man, right?
You know, we talked about construction and the infrastructure, but those guys, the food source people that are out there. You know how hard it is to be a rancher?
Yeah. Well, on a very small scale, I do.
Yeah. I mean, they work
every
their
day.
asses off.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then we get people that, want to chime in. We talked about haters or this and that with your fighting, or maybe with, guys calling me a poser.
Right.
But these guys have to deal with all these people from the city weighing in on what should be done or what's ethical or this or that. And it's like, why don't you just go work with a farmer or rancher for a while and then get back with me?
Dude.
Like
I said, it's so easy for them to go down and order a burger, already cooked, already ready to go.
I know. Go
back to their fridge and have a carton of eggs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my hope is that discussions like this can help, pull the curtain back a little bit, but I don't know.
The people the naysayers and the people that have shit to say, they just keep saying it. As they're fucking eating the greasy burger with their hand, they're wiping the smudge marks off their phone with the other. You know what I mean? And just keep talking the shit.
Commenting about how
you shouldn't do that.
How society's so wrong, or how how to be more accepting.
But I wonder now in this new world, can you pull a elk tag and shoot a cow because maybe it was identifying as an elk?
Or maybe it identified as a deer. You had an elk tag, but the elk is actually identified as a deer.
Yeah, he told you that.
Yeah. So that would be illegal. Yeah. It's a crazy time. I mean, I don't get it. Definitely don't get it. I see some of it and I'm just like, it makes you want to be aggressive, It's like, well, you got fined for it, so you can't be for it. You can't be that aggressive and say what you want to say, because you might. Well, now the UFC can't find you though.
No, but I can be canceled. Now we're in the cancel culture.
Oh, that's right.
So you'll just be zipped out of here, gone.
I don't want you to be canceled.
I don't either. Yeah.
Oh, well, let's. I had put up a question and answer for
All right.
Cowboy. Let's do a couple
Quickies?
A couple quickies for you. We talked about the big challenges of love scenes in movies and trying not to be aroused. That seemed like a tough one.
Yeah, and it's Boner City, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
Welcome to Boner City,
Welcome
USA.
to Boner City.
Yeah, I don't know. It's men are pretty predictable, aren't they?
Could you imagine hunting us? How stupid we are. Oh, bro, to hunt humans, put a pool party, bunch of topless bitches, you just sit there all day and fucking
You wouldn't even need a trail camera. It's like, hey, when does this guy like to come by here? Oh, all day?
Oh yeah, as soon as the first tick comes out, then she's when he's coming. When he sees the flyer topless party, that's when he's headed. Yeah.
No, very predictable. We wouldn't last long, would we?
No.
God. All right. So, are you going to go elk hunting with Cam in September?
We're going bear hunting. Not
Bear
elk
hunting.
Yeah.
I like that. So, we're going to go bear hunting this spring. Let's see here. I saw some good ones. Oh, what do you learn about yourself while making movies?
Ooh. Well, I don't know about learn about yourself, but you definitely get to pretend to be somebody else.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that is like you were saying, playing Doc Holliday or Wired Earp or something.
Right.
Well, you get casted as a whatever role they want to give you. Mm-hmm. Now you get to create as far back as you want this backstory on this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get to make him.
So you take ownership?
Yeah, fuck yeah, you do. He likes to do this. He drinks black coffee in the morning, or he doesn't eat fried beans. Like you just make this guy whoever you want to and create an entire backstory. Where we went to school, how if you are in the movie we're best friends, but why are we best friends? So we make the story, and it's really cool. So you get to create this entire.
So you do that in your head?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that makes it more realistic to be that person.
Yes,
because you have what made them them.
Correct. And
I see.
It all comes out. Yeah, it makes you.
Who taught you that?
Several different directors working with. Yeah, just explain to you like, hey man, give this guy a backstory, show him, do this, do that. Yeah,
and then that would affect how you deliver a line, maybe because they have these other things weighing in.
Yeah. Well, no. Now you're no longer delivering a line. You were just talking like you and I would talk as this person.
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. It makes sense. It seems like it'd be very hard.
It is very hard, but I'm not answering. I'm not answering the question you're asking me in the movie as a line. Mm-hmm. I'm just answering as I would say it to you as a friend.
Mm-hmm. I see.
So it becomes very real,
very
and
authentic.
natural, authentic.
Yeah.
It's not me waiting for you to waiting, and now I deliver my line, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's more just a flow, and so you become that person. Does
it feel natural to you? I mean, are you good at it?
I think I'm getting good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. You like that challenge?
Oh fuck yeah, it's fun.
What do you like about it?
The challenge part of it, the hard to remembering the lines, the delivering the dialogue, and just the whole process of it. It's fun. So
is that what you enjoy most now post fighting is acting?
Yeah, I also enjoy racing and still the shooting competition because that gives me the competition itch that I'm looking for. But as far as the structure of life and having to perform, I like the acting side. Yeah, well, it seems like I said, you got the look, if you got the skill, people. Now I got the steroids and put the size on. I know you're jacked, dude. You definitely are bigger. So you're like 200 and what? 212. 212. And you used to fight at 55. 55. I'd walk around 172, 173 was usually my weight I'd be all the time. Yeah. I'd go buy all new clothes, pants, underwear. Holy fuck. Yeah. You got a bigger dick? Yeah, huger dick. Just fucking. That's where I was injecting the steroids. I didn't know. I didn't read. Put it right in your dick. Yeah. Just put it right in your dick. It didn't say that on there, but I just tried it and it worked. I think that's a good approach. Yeah. I like it. Let's see. So this is from a Dale Brisby. Oh God. Yeah. Why is Dale Brisby's hair better than yours, Cowboy? Well, right now it is. Yeah. But in 6 months, it won't be. Okay. I went and got my hair done. Yeah. But it all falls out. Like it grew in, and now it all falls out because of the shock of the of the roots or whatever, and now they're like,
So a transplant?
Transplant. Yeah, I went down to Turkey and got it done.
Oh, really?
For Hollywood. Yeah, so like right here and here, like it all fell out. Now it's, but there are little stubbles in there again. So in like 6 months, I should have a full Fabio motherfucking set of hair. And yeah.
And then you'll get in Dale's face with your hair.
Just fucking let it rain. Yeah.
I like that. Another one from, maybe it's a different Dale Brisby, but it says, "Are you ready to get whooped by Dale Brisby?"
Yeah, I can't wait. Those kids are in for a treat. What a treat!
So is this like a fundraising thing? What's the point to the fight, or is it just to entertain the kids at your camp?
I mean, Dale wants to do it, so just not so much fundraising, more just
entertainment.
Entertainment for the kids.
Oh, they'll love it.
Yeah, just put it on it. Because when Dale shows up for a camp, he'll get 10 to 12 kids that he'll mentor, and he's with them the entire group, so they'll like train with him and get him ready, and then my kids will be with me, and then we'll have our little skirmish.
I love it. Well, this one here, I like this one. It says, and it kind of inspires me to ask another question, but it says, what makes a champion? And I would just say, who's worked the hardest of somebody who you've trained with? I mean, who stands out to you?
Wow, that's an interesting question. First off, what makes a champion, I think, is, as we spoke earlier about the guy who wakes up and doesn't even win.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Right.
He's sore, he's tired, he still gets up and he still does it. And who could I say that demonstrated that the best through my years? Probably Tim Kennedy.
Really?
Yeah. I've never seen anybody train like him in my life. Sometimes too much. Overtrained.
Mm-hmm.
Even today,
break his body down.
Oh God! Like even today, when I go down to Austin, he come in and work. He train in the morning, jiu-jitsu in the afternoon. Like that dude's work ethic is on a completely another level. So
yeah, and he's talented too.
Extremely on ever. I couldn't imagine being in a hand-to-hand any kind of fight with him with jiu-jitsu involved. I see him doing these classes where he gives the guys like a knife and a gun. He's like, oh my God, I've grappled with a guy with just my teeth, and I wish I had bigger ones, So I couldn't imagine giving him another one. But yeah, if I had somebody who is the man they say they are, that's Tim. Yeah.
Yeah.
He really, what he preaches, he is.
He had that fight against, I think it was Yoel Romero, where they kind of bought some time in the corner, spilled some ice or something.
Right.
I'd probably give Romero some more recovery.
Sure.
And Tim was probably going to win. I know that he talks about that in his book, that fight where it was pretty frustrating. I'm pretty sure it was Romero. Do you remember it?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, Timmy. Yeah. I mean, and it also goes to show you how hard that sport is. I mean, look at Tim, like a decorated assassin, right? Like the dude's just a born killer.
Yeah, black belt.
And then you're like, if Tim walked in here and we did any kind of training or any kind of anything, you'd be like, there's no way I would ever fight this guy. Like that's the guy I want to go to war. That's a machine.
Yeah.
And then you're like, man, there's people
that can beat him.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
So Tim to me is like one of my heroes for sure.
Yeah. No, I know. He said next time I go to Austin and don't call him, he's going to kick my ass.
Yeah.
Like he wants to train.
He'll probably mean that. Yeah, he'll for sure.
I'm a little nervous to train with him though.
The workout side you get. I mean, if you're ready to puke your brains out, that's what he'll want to do. He'll just probably push you so hard. Yeah. Crazy.
I'm hoping we can get on the mountain and I can take a little bit edge off him running.
There you go. You'll be impressed. So get ready. If you get Tim to come here, for sure get ready to do a fucking marathon.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would already have that scheduled. At least a halfer.
Okay.
And then run the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And carry the rock.
Yeah, and he'll do it. Yeah, he's fucking psycho. So I would be ready for that.
And then maybe I could get a little bit closer in some of the other stuff, but I got to take a lot of edge off of him first.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think he shoots a bow too. Does he?
I don't know. I'd imagine he shoots everything.
Well,
I'd imagine. We'll get probably good at throwing knives too. You know what I mean?
Wayne will get him dialed in on his technique.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about what sets you apart from the next guy that gives you the anytime, anywhere mentality?
I think I just created it. I was, again, when I said I would fight anyone, anywhere, when they would call me, I would literally take any fight. Like, I was never a time I was like, ooh, him?
Did you worry about weight class? Or
I mean, they would always call me for one weight class above me or mine. Like, they would never call me for some crazy fight. But I was just always the guy that they would call, and I would agree to fight out. When now you hear these people talk about it and say it, and they're like, they just say it. Yeah. They don't mean it.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm not worried about another person coming and taking that role. Someone will, because there'll be another crazy fucker out there. But until then,
Yeah. No, I understand. It's I think I remember watching one of the first UFCs and the whole weight class thing. That was when, was it Gracie versus, who did he fight? That big guy.
That big ass black dude. Yeah, I don't remember what his name is, but where he knocked his tooth out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of where he was the guy who is before weight classes, but you're like, holy shit, this jiu-jitsu is
the real deal.
Unbelievable. Because side to side, you'd think, oh, there's no way. But that's kind of what woke everybody up on the ground and, or I mean, not ground and pound, jiu-jitsu. But ground game. Cowboy going to take on Jake Paul.
So there's been talk about this, and I've had different calls about boxing and other fights, and I said no.
Yeah.
We talked about this when I first got here.
Yeah.
Like, they just, nah.
Not there. Not
enough
enough
if Jake wanted to do something in MMA, sure, I'd go out there. Maybe. I don't know. It'd
have to be a big paycheck.
It'd be a big paycheck, and it'd have to really, everything would have to align, But am I out there calling the dude out searching for it? Not really.
No, I don't blame you. I mean, like we've talked about, what else do you have to prove?
Right.
And it's like, you have money. Yep. You have, I don't know. I don't blame you for, who cares?
Yeah. Okay.
What if you beat Jake Paul?
Yeah.
What difference does that make?
Sure.
Unless you're making $5 million or something to do it. But you've competed with the best in the world at what you do
at the highest level.
Yeah. And did you win a championship in Strikeforce?
Nope, never did Strikeforce. I went from WC to UFC. Yep.
Oh, okay. So straight to UFC.
Yep. So Strikeforce back in the day is kind of like Bellator is now, and they just kind of also took that one over. So I never went Strikeforce. I was just WC and then to UFC.
Oh, but what about WC?
No, never won a belt.
Really? Okay. Well, you were. I mean, you had the most wins in the UFC
for sure. But I mean, just whenever it came time for to shit or get off the pot, I just would get off the pot.
Tough fucking job, dude. I mean, you're a legend in the toughest job there is.
Thank you.
We'll do one more here. How do you shift? So this is a good one to end it on. How do you shift between fight mode and regular life mode?
I wonder if that question is referring to while I was in training.
I don't know. I think it's just like, when you're a fighter, that's kind of your identity. Right. And so now how does that switch? Because it seems like fighting would provide an outlet for something in you. Like you can I made the competition, you're going to have one of the hardest battles of your life. And now you don't. Do you just redirect that effort?
Yeah. So it's mindset? Kind of a funny question, but I'll answer it two ways. Like, the first time is I don't ever put him away. He's always there. That guy is in me. Yeah. So, like, especially when I'm doing the acting,
it's like the backstory too. Like you said, that if you're playing a role, you create this backstory. So that's your backstory, obviously.
And I don't have to pretend, like a lot of these actors have to pretend to be the big
badass.
I'm already that guy, so I don't have to. That'll show. It's already in me.
Right.
And so I don't ever put him away. Like, I don't flex on it and bar fight and street fight anymore. But motherfucker wants to road rage with me, it'll come out. That's the one thing, you know what I mean? But other than that, I'm pretty calm with stuff.
I see it because when you pulled in the driveway yesterday or in the house or in the bow rack, that you are the fucking man. I mean, so I think there's credence to what you're saying because I see it. I'm like, how you walk, how you carry yourself, you're the fucking badass. Right. I mean, so it's like, that is there.
Right.
I mean, that's who you are. So that makes a lot of sense to me, actually, in seeing you
at
firsthand.
Home, at home, I don't have to put it away. I just hush it up a little bit.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've been a huge fan for many years. It's been a great honor for you to come in here, lift, run, shoot with me, and then to be able to talk to you and hear these stories and ask questions. Dude, it means, I can't tell you how much this means to me.
Thank you.
And,
I'm honored to be here.
oh, well, I was in this with, we have a brand new Keep Hammering Hoyt right here for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that you...
Setting records with?
Yeah, you set records. You made magic happen in the dark last night. 102 yards, just laying them in there. So this is your bow. It's been like I said, it's been an honor, and watching you shoot it so well was very gratifying for me. So, Cowboy, thank you very much. Thank you very much for everything.
It will get used and played with.
Well, it's going to kill a bear too.
That is also going to happen.
Okay.
I'm bringing a sidearm and a knife, just for to be clear.
Okay. Yeah. Well, actually, in Canada, you can't have a sidearm.
Oh.
So we might have to, yeah.
I'm going to have to drive in.
We can have knives, though.
Big ass spear.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
All right, brother. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It means the world to me. Appreciate you.
Already.
All right.
Every step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use. Every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom. I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with. Giving my blood, so I am relentless. My fault, they want someone to blame. They sent their hate, it fuels my pace. I am Roy Tough, I am the change, the fuel.